My name is Ryan Sun. I'm a 1L here at Berkeley Law.
Hello, so I'm a 2L at Berkeley Law. My name is Pauline Tang.
My name is Debbie O, and I'm a 1L.
Hi, my name is Concord Chung, and I'm a 1L here at Berkeley Law.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Lin, and I'm a 2L at Berkeley Law.
I'm Chris Gao. I'm a 1L.
Hello, I'm Florence, and I'm a 1L.
I'm Julia Lippis, and I'm a 1L.
Hi, I'm Clara Choi, and I'm a 1L.
Deborah Choi, 1L.
Naida Karim today, 1L.
Sure, I'm Christopher Brown. I'm a 2L here at Berkeley Law.
Thus the Chinaman has brought to us and planted within our border all the vicious practices and evil tendencies of his home, aggravated somewhat perhaps by the circumstances that he has lost what little restraint his home government imposed upon him, without submitting to the restraints of ours.
Civilized race will not assimilate with the barbarian race, but it may civilize the barbarian first and assimilate with him afterwards.
The people of the Pacific Coast have been so far the only people exposed to Chinese immigration. They are strongly and bitterly opposed to it.
But as far as we can judge, the ideal standard of the Chinaman is constructed on an entirely different plan. His notions of right and wrong are in many respects totally unlike ours.
A population so dense as to be overcrowded, our Mongolian immigrants bring us all the evils of overcrowding. The Chinaman in America cannot comprehend that there is plenty of space.
The Chinaman differs from us in color, in features, and in size. His contact excites in us, or at least in most of us, an unconquerable repulsion, which it seems to me must ever prevent any intimate association or miscegenation of the races.
The two races are also separated by a remarkable divergence in intellectual character and disposition. Our habits of thought are so entirely different that it seems impossible that they should ever become reconciled.
It's just something impossible to hear out loud today, in today's world, but I'm not sure how people are still thinking inside themselves.
When I found out that he had made these types of statements, it was actually a little jarring for me at first, and it took me a long time to realize that I guess like students had to do something about this because it wasn't something that was necessarily acceptable to me at all.
Our current climate echoes a lot of these sentiments, and I think that we can all agree that this is not something that's conducive for like our culture today and what really is in place right now, with the fact that we have so many different people living in America, and it's up to us as the current generation to upend these types of like wrongs that are rooted in tradition and lead by example.
Come to this place with a lot of really big expectations because Berkeley Law is known as such a good school, great law school. You know, if you come here, you'll get a great law career afterwards. So to come here and then not immediately, but very close to immediately find out that the name of the person that this building is named after, that is so closely tied with this law school, was kind of like a pretty big shock to me.
When I first heard about it this year, it was really disheartening to hear that, you know, people that look like me and people that I consider a part of my community were not welcome and were not considered to be equals by the person that this school is named after and that this school puts on a pedestal.
And now that we live in a more open society, we have to consider the viewpoints of everyone and not just the people who were in power at the time.
And I think it really reflects that he used the word unconquerable repulsion to describe how he viewed just the general public's opinion of everyone who is Chinese.
I'm a person that is multi-ethnic and biracial, and I grew up with two different races in my household and three different languages. In essence, it highlights how I just don't belong, and our school is named after someone who believes that I shouldn't exist in this world.
And just to think that there might be this notion out there that we're coming to school as intended by Boalt is troubling, because what Boalt did with his education, right? He made all these seemingly smart arguments on how Chinese people is somewhat a inferior race, on totally baseless arguments, but because of his education, he was able to make them convincing, persuasive, and that's partly how Chinese Exclusion Act was passed back in those days. And just to think that there's this notion that we are also coming to school as law students, get this education, and to what end? To the same end that, in the same way that John Boalt used his education to this kind of, to further this kind of political agenda? I don't think so. I didn't come to law school for any of this kind of agenda. So it's just to have this notion out there that possibly we came to law school as intended by Boalt is especially troubling to me.